For this portion of gardening in southeastern Oklahoma, we've come to a very rural area of McCurtain County. Now, McCurtain County is the southeasternmost county in Oklahoma. There's some very unique features to this area. They get a lot more rain than the rest of the state. They get up to 54 inches of rainfall per year. And the soils over here, as a result of all that rainfall, are a little more acidic. So they can grow some unique plants, but they also have their own unique challenges. Well, we're at the home of Diane and Wendell Proctor, and Diane is going to show us around her garden. Hi, Diane.
Hi, Steve.
Welcome to the program.
Welcome to our home.
Well, thank you. Diane, how long have you guys lived in this beautiful place?
We've lived here full-time for about 5 years now.
Okay. All right.
We've been gardening for that long.
All right. Well, and you moved here from where?
From Yukon, Oklahoma.
All right. And you sort of carved out your home here on the side of a hill. Beautiful trees, just beautiful scenery. You guys are just a few miles from Beaver's Bend.
Right, right.
Okay.
We're 3 miles from the dam.
Okay. It's a wonderful, wonderful location. But there are some gardening challenges, especially here on the hillside.
Yes, there are, Steve. It's very hard to build gardens on these hillsides. We have lots of rock in the soil, lots of tree roots. I have to garden with a pick rather than a shovel.
Okay.
So it's very tough. But I terrace the hillsides and I try to use mostly native stone because I like the natural look. And I haul in a lot of soil and I do a lot of composting so I can add lots of organic matter to my beds.
Okay,
and that helps a lot.
With the rockiness of the area, the water, I'm sure, just is gone in no time.
Goes right through.
Okay.
But the organic matter does help to preserve a little of that water.
Okay. And you guys have no lawn on your property, is that correct?
Not, maybe an occasional weed, but no grass.
Okay.
Don't have time for grass.
All right. And so you have to kind of scrounge for your organic matter. You're not, you don't have those lawn clippings to add to your compost.
However, I do have friends that have lawns in town, and occasionally they'll bring me a bag of grass to go on my compost pile. I use my trimmings from my plants that I grow and my kitchen scraps.
Okay.
So I do quite well with my compost.
Okay, so you do come up with that organic matter.
Yes,
Great.
yes.
Okay. I've noticed you got a series of decks and landings and walkways around your property.
That's something you just have to have up here because, as you notice, it's up and downhill everywhere you go. So we have decks that go almost all the way around the house. So you can walk around and see everywhere, and it's easy to get from one end of the house to the next.
Okay. Well, how about we go take a look at some of those individual gardens?
All right.
Diane, I really like the roofing you have over this pathway here on your property.
Yes, our garage, you see, is separate from the house, and it's nice to have it to cover us from the rain when the weather's bad. And besides, I like it to grow some extra vines on.
Yeah, very, very pleasing. And you hang pots and things.
Yes, it serves a purpose for lots of things.
Okay, very, very architecturally pleasing.
Thank you,
Well,
Steve.
Diane, you certainly have planted these impatiens very thickly in this area.
Well, actually, Steve, I didn't plant one of these. I've had hanging pots of impatiens here before, and these just come up naturally every year from the seeds that have dropped. They love to grow in this porous, rocky soil here.
Wow, all of these are volunteers.
All I do is water them.
Huh, well that's incredible. You've got a wonderful display going on there. I see one of our native shrubs here on the edge of this little cliff.
Yes, Steve, that's the American Beautyberry. They're prolific around our part of the state. In fact, we have to cut a lot of them down because they do grow so thick, but I like to save a few around the landscape because I do think they're beautiful.
Yeah, they have those nice pink flowers now, and then in the fall, really nice display.
The clusters of purple berries, they're beautiful.
Yeah, okay, wonderful, wonderful plant. Well, Diane, in this part of the garden, I see you have a really large outhouse. Do you guys not have running water up here? Or?
Well, yes, we do, but you know, my gardens are so spread out. This garden is a long way from the house.
So this really helps, though.
Yes. Actually, it's my tool shed, Steve.
Okay.
And it's really handy to have my tools right there when I need them.
That's a cute thing to have in the garden. Well, this is a really unique vine you've got growing on this double tomato cage support you've made here. What do we have here?
That's a yam vine, Steve. It grows little potatoes on it, little bublets, and you save those and plant them the following year, and that's where the vine comes from.
Okay, so it's not winter hardy. You have
No.
to save those little propagules.
But it grows very easily.
Okay. Well, I see a plant right here that we've grown at our studio gardens before that we really enjoy. What do we got here?
It's the datura, the double purple.
Double purple datura. Okay.
I think it makes a beautiful blossom.
Okay, and how do you grow that?
You save the seed. It has seed pods on it. Save the seed, and I plant those in the greenhouse. You could grow them in a windowsill, you know, just to get them started, to get an early start.
Beautiful plant.
You could plant them right outdoors, but you get a little jump on it by starting them indoors.
Okay. Well, I see your compost bins here.
Yes, you
And-
know, compost happens.
Yeah, absolutely. Wonderful stuff.
There's a little of everything in there.
This is kind of some of the new stuff that you're just getting going.
Yes, we have the kitchen scraps and plant cuttings.
Okay. And back here we've got some stuff that's almost ready.
Yes, this is finished compost. Now I put a few kitchen scraps in here just to keep my worms fed and happy. I don't know if you can see those, but there's lots of earthworms.
Oh
in there.
yeah, I can see them wiggling around there a little.
So when I move my compost to my garden, I'm also taking earthworms.
That's a good trade.
Yes.
Okay. Well, right back here, I see you've got some butterfly bushes, and the butterflies are certainly.
Yes, you see the butterflies
yeah,
on them?
enjoying those right now.
The blooms have faded, but there'll be more coming. Now I didn't cut these back this year because I like them towering up over my garden. I really enjoy those, and I enjoy the butterflies.
And down here in this part of Oklahoma, they rarely freeze back to the ground.
No, you would never have to cut them back.
Okay.
It's just a matter of choice.
Diane, right here you have a plant that a lot of people in Oklahoma aren't going to be able to grow. What have we got there?
Well, I call it the Texas sage.
Okay.
You had another name for it?
The leucophyllum.
Yes.
Yeah.
It has the little blue flowers.
Yeah, those are in the snapdragon family.
And I didn't realize that. It's about 3 years old, and it's doing really well here. The soil's lean, and I think it likes it.
Yeah, a native Texas plant. But yeah, you guys would be able to grow it where it'd be a little bit more cold, tender up in Stillwater and other parts of the state.
We grow a lot of plants that they grow in Texas here.
Diane, I really like the style you use when you design with your plants. Can you tell us a little bit about some of the elements you use when you're planting your gardens?
Well, Steve, being here in the hills, I like to use as many natural elements as possible. I don't like something that jumps out at you. I just like a nice, pleasing view. And you notice I don't prune things. I just let them grow natural, and that's just the look that I really like.
Well, it looks very kept because I think because of the choices of plant material you use. It doesn't necessarily grow into each other, but just because of the particular plants you have, they fit really well.
Yes.
And this is your greenhouse you grow plants in?
Yes, I start cuttings early in the spring, and I also overwinter my plants.
And you
It's
have
very helpful.
you have another smaller greenhouse on one of your decks?
Up on the deck I have a little greenhouse that I built out of old windows, and it's very helpful for my deck plants when I need to stick them in on a cold night.
In the
To protect
springtime,
them.
maybe little tomato seedlings and
Yes.
things. I like this flower bed or this
Yes.
garden bed you have here.
Yes, this is my flower bed, and it's overgrown with chives and things, but here again, I just like it to look natural.
It looks great, and I bet that tall hibiscus is really showy
Yes, that's my Texas hibiscus.
whenever it starts blooming.
It has buds on it. It'll be blooming soon.
Okay. Well, Diane, this bed over here is another example, I think, of your style of using these plants, kind of blending them together, but yet each one has sort of its own place in the design.
I like the tapestry look where things just blend together, but yet they stand alone.
Those cannas really catch your eye, I
yes,
think.
The burgundy color really stands out from the green, doesn't it?
Yeah, so it's a very good use of form and texture and color, I think.
Well, thank you very much.
Well, Diane, thank you so much for showing us around your garden.
Thank you.
You have a beautiful home.
Very glad to
beautiful
have
property.
you.
Thanks. Well, that's it for this edition of Oklahoma Gardening. I hope you've enjoyed the start of our series, Gardening in Southeastern Oklahoma. We'll be devoting half of our show to feature this series over the next 3 weeks. Well, before we go, I want to show you the climbing lily, or the Gloriosa lily. We showed you the process of potting the tubers up into this container several weeks ago on our program. And the plants are blooming now. You get these really exotic looking flowers of red and yellow. And we told you about how the tips of the leaves become tendrils and grab a hold of things to help the plant climb. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next week.